What's up, everybody? Okay, I'm gonna kind of short the intro on this just because I just realized I recorded half of this video already without my mic working. So basically, I just wanted to give my thoughts on Diablo 4. We're gonna go off of this developer gameplay showcase video, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about some of the points they make and kind of go from there. Hopefully, I remember all the stuff I was talking about. So let's go ahead and get it started. It looks good for
Diablo
Series X.
4
The
is the next
graphics on this
generation of
look
action RPG,
freaking great.
melding monster slaying and loot collecting with a fully realized open world.
Okay, open world. That can be good or that can be bad. If it's done right, it could be great. Elden Ring's a good example of that. To be fair, I kind of overdid the stuff in Elden Ring, but that's besides the point. It could be bad, if they have too much open world and they don't really do anything with it, if they have plenty of places to explore, different little catacombs and dungeons and stuff like that for you to find, fantastic. But if it's just open world where you find a chest here or a chest there, kind of like Diablo 3, I felt like I did a lot of looking around in Diablo 3 and not really finding anything. But we'll just kind of have to wait and see how they do it. I'm hoping they have a good, vast open world with plenty of stuff to do.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's gory and unnerving. It's creepy.
It should be. It's Diablo.
Diablo 4 is all about player choice.
Wish they would elaborate on player choice. There's a couple things in here that I wish they would elaborate more on. Player choice being one. My biggest thing with player choice is when I'm building my character, regardless of how I do it, it should be viable. As far as PvE and even PvP, regardless of how I build my character, it should be able to be up with the rest. There shouldn't be a meta, in my opinion. There shouldn't be, if your build isn't this, your character is going to be shit. Regardless of how I do my character, I should be able to be at the level of other players and get things done the way they should be. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm kind of at a loss for words on that, mainly because I had to restart the video. Anyway.
It takes all of the pillars of a Diablo game and just expands them with all of the new features that people really love and appreciate in modern games. Whoever you see yourself being, you can create in Diablo 4.
It's
This
important to
is
include
nice.
robust character customization because then
Okay, character customization. I can't hate on it. Personally, I don't do a whole lot of character customization stuff. Yeah, I might add some tattoos and scars and stuff like that. But as far as the full detail where you got nose sliders, eye sliders, and stuff like that, personally, I think it's a little much. But I can understand where people like it and they have fun with it. I'd rather just get into the game. So I'm glad they have a good character customization tool for people who do it. Good on them.
I can play the fantasy that I want to play.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You're going to be covered in armor most of the time anyways. Or in a top-down view like that where you're really not going to see a whole lot anyways.
Everything feels very powerful and fun.
I hope so. I was just watching a God of War video, and the feeling of the punches and stuff in that game, it just, more games need to feel like that, where it's like every hit, it feels powerful. And so far from what I'm seeing, they've kind of pulled it off, especially, I think the sound of your hits play a big part in that. So, and the sound sounds good, but again, we'll have to wait and see for full game.
One of the really cool things about having an open world is your journey that you take throughout Diablo 4 is your own.
That can be good or bad. I mean, without a very coherent story, you know, everything kind of lining up the way it should, I worry that it may not make sense. I'm assuming they know what they're doing. I hope they know what they're doing. And I hope it's not a problem to have an open world like this, you know, without having too many, like, oh, you need to go here to do this, you need to go there to do that, you know, as opposed to traditional story mode where everything just kind of plays out the way it should. So, fingers crossed they know what they're doing.
There's no linear path that you have to follow.
We've got almost
Linear path
150
isn't bad.
dungeons in the game.
Dungeons. I hope they do them right. 150 sounds like a lot. And I just can't help but wonder how many are going to be close to the same thing, a little bit different. How many are going to have the same boss with a little bit of different mechanics? I'm hoping with the dungeons, there's 150 different dungeons. I mean, yeah, you're going to see similarities between dungeon to dungeon, but I'm hoping there's enough variety to where you go to a dungeon and then you go to another one and you're like, hey, wasn't I just here? I don't want to have that feeling. So when it comes to the dungeons, do it right. Please do it right. And the bosses, they need good mechanics. As much as I didn't want to talk about Diablo Immortal, the bosses in that were kind of lame. Going back to Diablo 3, which is what I was doing before because I got kind of hyped up with Diablo 4. A lot of the bosses there, they're cool, but they, for the most part, just kind of stand there and you stand there and hit them. And that's about the extent of it. And then, so, God, I want them to do this game right. There's so much I'm hoping for with this game that I just, please, Blizzard, deliver.
There's all kinds of surprises as you're exploring.
Strongholds are an enemy territory that you need to reclaim.
But you might have a space that begins.
I like this idea too. Strongholds. You know, you clear a place out and it changes. Nothing wrong with that. I think it'll be really good, especially help with storytelling, depending on how their story structure is set up.
As a hostile area, but after you've cleared it out,
the evil in this place has been cleansed.
It now becomes a friendly town.
Sometimes it's a new town, sometimes it's a new dungeon. There's a whole bunch of rewards that you get. And
It
you
just
have
looks
a real
really good.
impact on the world as a result.
Please
No,
don't let me
you
down,
can't leave
Blizzard.
us here. They might come back any moment.
Local events are really cool little story segments that happen within the open world.
You'll just be running through the world, and then a local event will pop up, and
I hope that's not too bad. And I hope it doesn't happen very often, because something like that could just kind of throw off your game. If you're in the middle of doing something and a local event happens, it can just kind of kill your vibe, if you ask me. Now, if it's something like it happens and I can just keep going and not worry about it, messing something up within the game, whatever. But for the most part, I don't want too many things kind of interfering with what I'm doing. Now, that could just be me, and it probably is, but just thought I would put it out there.
you can choose to participate in it, or get a group together and just wail on these like giant world bosses.
World bosses. It's a good idea in concept, but I'm just wondering how often people are going to do it. How often is it going to show up? Is it going to get repetitive? Are you going to reach a point where you can basically solo these things by yourself? Or are you just going to see one and be like, and run off? So I like the idea. I'll just kind of have to see how it goes.
These
I mean,
are
this
events
guy
that
looks
take a
cool,
lot of
too.
people, and you really have to work together.
Being able to see all the
Why
players
not
on your screen,
always be the best thing?
collaborating, trying to take this big monster down, it's epic.
And it looks cool. It really does.
It's so easy to create a community.
Shared world. I don't know if I like that. And one of the things that bothered me in Diablo Immortal was trying to do bounties with other people there doing the same bounties. I would rather not. You know, I don't want to have to be going to find some enemy to kill just to get there and have somebody else kill it first. And then I get no credit for it. And then I gotta go try and find another one where somebody else is probably gonna be. So, depending on how they do the shared world, I mean, I'm gonna have to be all right with it either way because that's how they're doing it.
It makes Diablo more of a social experience.
We've got fully enabled crossplay.
If you have an
Crossplay is a
Xbox
plus.
and your buddy has a PC, you're going to be able to.
That's how my setup's gonna be.
We can
We're
play
gonna
couch
have
co-op. Two people on a couch can
a couple
sit there and have a
people
great
on
experience.
Xbox, a couple people on PC. So
We've created
I'm very
specific
glad they're
zones
doing
where
that.
players can engage in PvP.
Okay. I'm curious to how their PvP is going to be structured. If they're doing it like Diablo Immortal, or if you're certain level, you're just going to dominate everybody else, which is what I'm afraid of, or if it's going to be more of a level playing field. Are they going to kind of just put everybody on the same playing field? And then it's basically your skills and your abilities. So that's something just gonna have to wait and see.
You go there, you can start swinging away at people, but you're also opening yourself up to being swung at.
Yeah.
If you're like really, really good, the game actually marks you as like a champion on the map.
And that's a cool idea.
You basically become a loot pinata, and everyone wants to chase you down.
And I hope the PvP stays to the zones.
The
I
last
don't
story
want to
mission
fight people
is really
just
the
out and
beginning
about while I'm
of
doing
a
whatever.
whole different part of the journey.
Now you're set up for the end game, and that end game is rich with things to do that allow you to get.
It fucking better be. The end game is where things need to be just right. Your bosses have to be, I don't even know how to describe it. You got to have good bosses. They have to have good mechanics, different phases and stuff like that. You know, don't let people be able to just stand there and kill your boss.
More and more powerful.
Whether it's new items or new dungeons or new Paragon boards, every single time you come back to play Diablo 4, there's going to be new stuff for you to experience.
And it's something that we're going to support for years to come.
Support for years to come. Now, if any of you watching this watch Asmongold, he made a very good point. When was the last time Diablo 3 was updated, other than their seasons? Reaper of Souls? Which was what? 8 years ago? Something like that? Longer? I hope they keep up with this game. I hope they keep adding stuff to this game, if it's good. But their track record outside of WoW, not looking too good.
I'm really excited.
Even
for
WoW's
folks to get
kinda,
their hands on Diablo 4.
Just to see millions of people really enjoying the different options.
Through the campaign,
local events,
couch co-op,
endgame,
PvP, it almost doesn't end.
And we are so close.
Badass. And these abilities and stuff look really cool. The enemies look really good. I am hopeful for this game. I really, really am. But I worry with the way they brought Diablo Immortal in to just kind of sour the taste of Diablo for anybody that plays Diablo. I don't know. I have to say, one of my biggest hopes for this game is there needs to be caps. I don't want to be running endless rifts and stuff like that and just keep getting bigger and bigger numbers. That's not what I want to do. I want to have to go to a dungeon and do a hard dungeon to get some awesome gear that's going to prepare me for the next dungeon. That's going to prepare me for the next dungeon. That's going to prepare me for the end game. And then once I get to the end game, yeah, you grind that shit out for a while, get nice and built up for the next expansion. But there's got to be like a cap. I don't want to have to just keep getting bigger numbers. I want to know once I reach here, bam, my dude's badass. And I'm ready for what's coming next. Diablo 3 didn't have that. And it was just Diablo Immortal 2. It's just endless grind. And for what? For better gear that's just got a higher number to kill some guy you've killed a million times already to get the gear that you have. I don't want to do that. I have high hopes for this game, but very low expectations. I'm hoping Blizzard can deliver the game that I have in my head. I really hope they do. But I don't know. I just don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. And that's what's killing me. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you understand what I'm getting at with it. I'm just kind of rambling here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm hoping to see you in the next one. I'm trying to get used to this. I'm trying to get into doing more videos. Not sure what I'm doing next. I'm thinking we're going to take a look at Forza Motorsport. I don't know if you can see it back there. I have a steering wheel about a little while ago that I've been kind of waiting to play Forza with. But hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. See ya.